Have you ever heard of the character Freedom Ring? He was introduced back in Marvel's Team Up in 2006. He was created by Robert Kirkman, who you may know from Walking Dead. Unfortunately, though, he was killed off very quickly as soon as he was introduced.
In love with the hero. I'm in love with the one who will always...
Hello comic book fans of the world, let's talk about Marvel Team Up Freedom Ring. This is the third volume of Marvel Team Up, but this is the fourth trade paperback from that series. Who is Freedom Ring? Well, I've done a video once in the past about this exact same character. Unfortunately, that video is long gone. In terms of Marvel comic characters, he's barely there for even a blink of an eye. He was introduced in 2006, number 20 of Marvel Team Up, and then he was killed off 4 issues later. At the time, Quesada, who happened to be the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, was trying to promote Freedom Ring as being a new gay character being introduced. So having his character being humiliated by other supervillains and then being killed off just seemed like a huge kick in the head. The character himself is named Curtis Doyle, and the first part of this trade paperback is explaining the background of a magic ring, or a power ring, that's made from a cosmic cube, which the ring itself goes back to a Captain America story where it has to do with hygiene, and him losing the ring, but the ring itself is picked up accidentally by Curtis Doyle. Curtis, not really even knowing what the ring is all about or where its origins come from, he just sort of uses it and finds out that he has superpowers. The ring itself gives him the ability to warp reality within a 15-foot radius. Curtis somewhat tries to become a superhero on his own, but he's very inexperienced. His first battle is against the Abomination, and having no superhero background, he is completely and totally defeated by Abomination. He's paralyzed from the waist down, but he realizes once he puts the ring on, he's able to change reality once again, but this time he can internalize it on himself. So he can make his legs walk again, he can also give himself super strength, the ability to fly, and also give himself some invulnerability. With the help of his neighbor, who happens to be a Skrull undercover and changes his own identity to become sort of like his sidekick known as the Crusader, he tries to be a superhero once again. In the background, there's a whole nother storyline taking place with an alternate version of Tony Stark called the Iron Maniac. This is a very lame, evil version of Tony Stark, but regardless of that, he causes some trouble in New York where some of the other Avengers and other superheroes try to take him on, and they're pretty much beaten down. Enter Freedom Ring. This time around, he does have a bit more of a heroic side to him, and he holds his own for a little bit. And for reasons I can't figure out to this day, Robert Kirkman wrote his character to be very stupid. He tells Iron Maniac where his powers come from, which is his one weakness, so Iron Maniac makes his armor come alive and form into spikes and basically cuts off his finger, which makes Curtis completely defenseless. He's then continued on to be impaled in a very humiliating, horrible way. There's even a spike going straight through his crotch right out of his ass, which many have defended, saying there's spikes going everywhere, but I have to say that's bullshit. Artists know exactly what they're doing, and this was put in there intentionally, and I don't care what anyone else out there says, that is a huge insult. I have nothing against Robert Kirkman. He's went on to write other gay characters that have done fairly well, especially in The Walking Dead. He's even gone on record to state that he didn't realize there were so few gay characters out there. Freedom Ring has been completely forgotten, and he's never been mentioned since his story. His Skrull partner slash sidekick, Crusader, he inherited the ring, and he kind of did his own adventure for a little bit, but he himself has also been forgotten. I only bring up Freedom Ring because he did exist. I feel like he deserves some recognition. I'll leave it at this point. I mean, I really feel as though the character had a lot of potential, and he could have been a really awesome Marvel character had his story continued on. If you're interested in reading this trade paperback yourself, it's available in both printed form and in digital form on Comixology.com. Sorry for ranting a little bit in this video, but thank you for watching it. If you made it up to this point, you're pretty darn awesome. Check out my Patreon site when you get a chance. Check out my social media sites, my websites, and everything else out there. Peace, love, namaste, and I'll see you guys later.
He's a prominent figure in the gay comic.
Curtis's boyfriend, or at least the guy that he was pursuing in this story arc, if maybe he came across the ring and he became the new Freedom Ring, or some other name, I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of the name Freedom Ring, but still I feel like that could be a way for Marvel to kind of fix this, saying, hey, we made a mistake. This hopefully will kind of rectify things a little bit.